founded near Las Cruces by a man named Dr. Boyd, trying to save his wife. The Boyd Sanatorium has a tragic past, and this is its story. Overlooking the city of Las Cruces are the Organ Mountains, looming in the distance, ever watching the city. But these mountains hold many secrets and a tragic past. The sharp, needle-like spires that rise above the desert resemble an organ, hence why they call it the Organ Mountains. They rise above the desert plains over 9,000 feet in elevation. Humans have inhabited this area for thousands of years, but it is also host to many different types of wildlife. However, our tragic story does not require us to go so far back in time, only to the mid-19th century. But before we begin exploring the history of this region, we must begin our hike up the mountain. This area is really beautiful, but unfortunately dogs are not allowed any further, so Michael and Kiwi are just going to go off in that direction. Bye! So I'm going to continue to the sanitarium alone, unfortunately. I found this singular tree right here, which provides some pretty good shade. It is beautiful up here. Almost to the sanitarium and the Van Patten mountain camp. So this area is the library, and there is a mercantile shop here and a chicken coop. So we got about a quarter of a mile left until we're at the Van Patten mountain camp, which is right next to the Boyd Sanatorium. Wow, look at that view. It's incredible. Kind of see the inside here. But man, the view of here is incredible. You can see Las Cruces really well. It's a really beautiful area. Well, I'm going to keep going on the trail. So right on the other side of these trees is Dripping Springs and Boyd Sanatorium right up there. And now we are arriving at the incredible Van Patten mountain camp. Look at this. Let's take a bit of a walk around here. And it is really, really amazing. It's just beautiful. Look at this. Looks like some of the buildings are in ruins, but this one survived. At least the outside did. Incredible. It's really hard to convey the scale of these mountains through the camera, but yeah, this place is absolutely incredible. I'm going to begin my oh, you can see the Boyd Sanatorium right up there. Colonel Eugene Van Patten was a Confederate soldier who would fight in the Civil War and would serve under General Stonewall Jackson. After the war had ended, Van Patten would drift until finally settling in Las Cruces in the year 1872. Shortly after settling in Las Cruces, Van Patten would move up the mountain to construct the Van Patten Mountain Resort and Livery. A stagecoach would take resort guests 17 miles along a very rocky path to the Livery, which was constructed specifically for the resort guests. After stopping at the Livery, they would make their way up the mountain to the Van Patten Mountain Camp and Resort. The Dripping Springs area was the perfect place for this, as it provided a natural source of water, and the cool mountains provided a break from the heat of the desert. During its peak, the resort was 2 stories tall, and it had 14 rooms and a dining hall. The only fully intact building is what's left of the dining hall, and all the crumbling walls are what's left of its rooms. Many Wild West legends would even stay at the Van Patten Mountain Camp Resort, including Pancho Villa and Pat Garrett. In 1906, an additional 18 rooms were added to the resort. However, it could not last forever. After years of financial troubles, in the year 1915, Van Patten would sell his resort to a Dr. Nathan Boyd. Soon, what was once a fun getaway would turn into a place of nightmares. Coming up on the Boyd Sanatorium right now. It's right here, nestled into the mountain. We're gonna take a good old Kentucky gander around the sanitarium. We will, of course, respect the signs. I don't think you can enter the buildings, but I'm not gonna try. Should be able to get a good view of them from the outside, though, since they have that mesh up over all the doors and windows. This place has a very fascinating history. Very sad history, though. Very tragic place. So, you can get a good look inside here. See, it's not very big. The inside looks pretty gutted for the most part. Just a few walls separating the rooms. But man, this is an incredible place. You see another building right over there. If you listen real closely, you can hear water from Dripping Springs, which is right down there. Wow. How incredible. This place is amazing. Look at that. It's all gutted on the inside, but you can get a pretty good view of it. Wow. And then you can kind of see the Dripping Springs from here, actually. Get a pretty decent view of it. See, it's that right there. That's the Dripping Springs. There's not a lot of water coming off of it, but sometimes there's more. And then right next to it, you can see the Van Patten Mountain Camp right there. Here's a view of the Dripping Springs from the ground level. You can see a little brick dam right there. It's really cool. You might not be able to tell from the footage, but it's actually really chilly out today. Especially you're in the shadow of the mountains. Really chilly. It's the perfect weather. Consumption, known in the modern day as tuberculosis, was once an incredibly deadly disease with no cure to be found. Tuberculosis is caused by a bacteria that normally attacks the lungs. However, it can attack other parts of the body as well, such as the spine. During the 19th century, many people began to believe that tuberculosis was linked to climate. They thought that cooler climates and less humidity would help cure the disease. By the turn of the 20th century, tuberculosis was the leading cause of death in the United States. Because of the thin, dry air of the Southwest, thousands of people with tuberculosis began moving to places like New Mexico. Tuberculosis patients had to endure many horrific treatments. Some were encouraged to sleep outside in the cold winter air. Others were encouraged to walk around the mountains and were never seen again. Dr. Nathan Boyd's wife had contracted tuberculosis, and he was determined to cure her and help any other patients he could in a new, modern, state-of-the-art mountainside sanitarium. Dr. Boyd would fail to save his wife, and many other patients of the sanatorium would pass away on that mountainside. After operating the sanitarium for 3 years, Dr. Boyd would sell it to Dr. Sexton, a physician in Las Cruces. It would finally close for good in the year 1946. The cure to tuberculosis would be found in 1949, and as of today, it can take as little as 6 months to cure. No doubt hundreds of people passed away in this small valley called Dripping Springs.
The setting sun.
The Dripping Springs area is a very fascinating place. Many people lost their lives here, and it will never be forgotten.
As I watch you slip away, you close your eyes as if the light is growing brighter, and a peaceful gaze consumes your tired face. Do not go gentle, no, my love. The angels don't need you above. Rage against the dying of the light. So many lands still remain to be discovered. So many plans still are hanging in the air, and there is still so much I need to learn about you.
Kiwi! Oh, look how exciting Kiwi is. Oh, you're such a good boy. You're such a good boy, aren't you, Kiwi? You're such a good boy. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Alright, come on, let's head back down, alright, Kiwi?
Oh my goodness.